Here's the next question. Car Camp Europe. Cool name. Congratulations on the milestone. Question about ethics. How do you go from deprogramming from the typical dodgy, manipulative online tactics? Context. When I first worked with online business coaches, it felt very uncomfortable, but eventually these tactics became so normalized and standard that a certain kind of numbing to them happened. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's how it goes. Well, at the risk of this being a shameless plug, but since you asked me, and I do have something on this in particular, let me share the things that I would most recommend from my own repertoire, and but also just give some thoughts, off the cuff here. Okay, so on my webinars page, there's a few, but the main one I would say is, of course, this one, the Ethical Marketing 101. This is kind of the main deprogramming, but also on my homepage, I've got the Ethical Marketing Starter Kit, which you can sign up for, and that'll help you dive deeper into the 7 fundamentals. And just generally, I would say checking out my YouTube and Instagram. There's a lot of stuff that can help you slowly deprogram around this. And I've got lots of colleagues, Mark Silver, George Cow, Rebecca Tracy, Rebecca Van Dam, Danielle Gardner, Gemma Gilbert. God, there's so many more. I'll stop before I start forgetting everybody. There's a lot of good people out there who you can follow to help you with this. So there's a number of things I would say. One, anytime you feel even the slightest bit uneasy or uncomfortable about a marketing tactic, don't dismiss that. Sit with it and really check in and ask yourself, why do I feel so uneasy about this? What is it about this that is off? Because it shouldn't feel off. There's a kind of, I feel uncomfortable and scared because I'm shy, maybe because I've never done this before. That's different than, what I'm saying? It feels off your integrity, your soul, your conscience is screaming at you. It should never, ever feel like that, ever. And it doesn't need to. So that's number one, is just track it. And when it happens, pause, reflect. Number two, get exposed to new ideas. There's lots of great content out there. We're hopefully going to get in the coming months, get up a recommended colleagues list that you can check out as well. But there's something about, if you're making tea, you got to let it steep in the hot water. And there's a similar thing with this. You can't um, unlearn these things right away. The flavors and aromas of the new ideas take a while to get into the water. And is there anything else I would say? How do you deprogram? Get angry. Getting angry doesn't hurt. It doesn't have to be at them not saying anything, but it is something to be angry about. We've been taught coercion and manipulation, and that's been normalized, and it's not okay. How else would I suggest that people deprogram from this? Going to a consent workshop, around relationships, sex, just general communication, that helps. That's a real foundation. I did a conversation, you can see it in the webinar recordings, with Adam Taffler, where we talked about consent and marketing. That's another one. So, okay, at the risk of just too much shameless plugging here, I do want to see what else I might have that I'd recommend of what I have. Because again, I've got lots of colleagues who have good stuff too. In terms of the books, I have this one, How to Start. Here's an important thing. We're going to be redoing this workbook soon, but it's the thing we don't want to get caught in is being stuck in what you don't want marketing to feel like, right? Because we get burned. So we think, I just don't want to be burned. I don't want to be unethical. I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be slimy. But then you're driving your car based on it's like by staring at what you don't want to hit, and it's not a good idea. So instead, we want to figure out, where do we want to go? Where do we want to focus? And this workbook will help you figure out 3 words that you can use as a kind of mantra. And it sounds too simple, but it's actually a very useful workbook. I get a lot of great feedback on it, where you focus on what you do want your marketing to feel like, not what you don't want it to feel like. Okay, that's really it there. DIY courses, I don't think so. Yeah, okay. So then the other webinars I might recommend, the filtering one is helpful just because I think so much of ethics in marketing comes down to filtering, comes down to this acknowledgement that the basis of ethical marketing is focusing on the truth of is this a fit, not um, getting them to buy, not getting the sale. And so this gives some of the mechanics of it, which can be helpful. Yeah, the ethical marketing one. And this one. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about, the Wheel of Consent with Adam. So if you start with those, I think that'll help. But again, tons of free stuff on YouTube. I don't know if this helps at all. Thank you so much for asking the question. We're going to go to the next one now. Okay, so